What's up guys, Blade Master here. You're watching the Wolf of Remus Total War channel, and if you're wondering what's the difference between this and my previous videos, it's the audio quality. I've got a new mic and I'm actually really liking it. It's this Samsung Meteorite USB condenser mic. It's really cheap actually. It was just like 39 bucks or something, but shipping was a bitch. But that's what you gotta cope with when you live in the Middle East. Anyways, getting back to the battle. I've got Boii. I've taken Boii, and my opponent, who is Piro, has taken Arevaci. And let's see what build I've brought. I've brought a couple of veteran spears, and they're going to be on the flanks of my first line. And I've got a spear warrior also, and they're going to be in the middle. Behind them, a line of 3 Celtic bowmen. And then finally, I brought a whole bunch of swords, a couple of axe warriors up in the flanks, a couple of sword followers closer, and my Oathsworn right in the center. And behind them I've brought a single naked warrior, and I've kept them all the way at the back because skirmishers are so much stronger in this patch that you can't afford to bring your naked warriors even on the flanks because they'll get demolished. Anyways, besides them I've brought a total of 6 heavy horse, so pretty standard build from me, except for maybe the spears, but I mean that's to be expected in this patch. So what has Piro brought? He's brought a total of 5 Celtiberian cav, I believe. Yeah, 5 Celtiberian. Let me put this in slow motion. 5 Celtiberians, 1 solitary Iberian spearman, 3 Balearic slingers. Ooh, actually I can see a couple of, I can see 1 noble cav on his left. Let me pause this before I can get into the action. So 3 Balearic slingers, and finally some Scutari. Let me take a look. 2 noble fighters, 2 painted warriors, and 2 Scutari. So before this battle begins, let's try and see who would win this just based on the build alone. Well, his army is very strong in terms of sword inf, but Scutari are very vulnerable. Scutari and painted warriors are very vulnerable to archers, and I've got 3 of them. And Celtic bowmen have 35 missile damage, which isn't great, but it'll do the trick. But he does have scare with his painted warriors. So that's another thing that I need to deal with. In terms of cav, it looks like I have a superiority in one of the flanks while he has a definite superiority on the other. So it's all going to boil down to how I use my spears in the cav battle, and how I'm able to fight off his scary painted warrior units. So now we can see that I'm about to engage one of his cav with one of my heavy horse, and let's just take a look. No, before that, sorry for making you guys hold up for this. I'm gonna try and figure out Alt K and then bam, get that cinematic look. Boom. So my guys are in wedge formation, which should help against Celtiberians, and Celtiberians I believe do not win against heavy horse. I'm not sure about this patch actually, but yeah, that's one cav that's been engaged. Actually all my cav have been engaged. But he has brought, actually no, I moved back one of my heavy horses. This is a pretty traditional Blade Master move. I was going to try and engage all of his cav with 2 of mine and then pull back another for extra maneuverability. But then he very wisely caught them in the rear, so that's not going to work in my favor actually. Now here this is not looking very good. I didn't even charge his cav on this side, so he's got a clean charge on my heavy horse, and he's brought some Iberian spearmen as well, so I need to bring some support there immediately. Meanwhile he's engaging with his swords, and don't know how well that'll go. Sword followers should be able to beat painted warriors, and over here I've put my guys on shield wall, and let's try and take a look at how this is going to pan out. So these guys are veteran spears and spear warriors who are fighting against noble fighters who are very strong. And now my Oathsworn is going to engage one of his Scutari, I believe. And right off the bat, all my Celtic bowmen basically rout because I forgot to put them a good distance behind. So there goes my skirmishing advantage. But I do have these naked dudes who would be pretty effective if I can get them in the right direction. So here they're going to get a nice flank charge onto these noble fighters. I think this is Gen, and these guys have 15 bonus versus infantry, which should be pretty critical. Here these veteran spears are holding on quite well against these guys, but they are taking a bunch of losses. In my personal opinion, I think they've nerfed spears a bit too heavy again. But I mean, at least they're better than before. Wow, you could see those guys just crawling and tripping. That's funny. But yeah, his Balearic Slingers, actually he had Balearic Slingers, so he would have destroyed my archers anyways. But yeah, I catch them with one of my Naked Warriors who should do incredibly well against them. Luckily I managed to pull out one of my heavy horse just in time to engage his Celtiberians, who are going to rear charge my sword followers. But yeah, just caught them in the nick of time, so they won't be there to inflict that massive penalty. So here Axe Warriors are engaging Celtiberians who are basically at half strength, so that's going to go well in my favor. Here my timely spear and infantry support seems to have won the day because his Celtiberians are depleted, and he does have a full strength noble cav, which is very, very threatening. But I need to engage them as soon as possible. They're busy held up with my heavy horse, but they're about to engage with my Celtic bowmen very soon. Let's take a look at the infantry fight meanwhile. Oathsworn are not doing too great, it looks like. Only 42 kills. His noble fighters are definitely doing better. That's good. That's exactly what I want to see. Noble fighters should be able to beat any infantry in combat except maybe Lusitani nobles, and it looks like that's what is happening. But they're about to get rear charged by a heavy horse, and they don't have great melee. They don't have great armor, so that should so cav charges should be more devastating on them than it would be for me. Now Oathsworn losing current combat, and they've gotten rear charged, but I do have two Celtic bowmen and they're only going to be focused on killing these guys, shooting their arrows from all the way back. Let's take a look. Let's try and see if I can get any good shots at these guys. Come on, reload. Like, how much time is this taking? Wow. Okay, nice. Got a couple of them. But there's a full strength noble cav that's just about to charge them. Yeah, those arrows aren't going to do too much to a full strength noble cav. So yeah, those guys are toast. The other guys are toast too, but his infantry doesn't look to be in too great of a shape. These painted warriors have done well, but so have my veteran spears. Wow, actually, I wouldn't say they have. I mean, veteran spears are incredibly strong, and I mean, really, really good units. And the fact that but actually they have lasted the entire battle, so I guess that's about as much as one can expect. Now his painted warriors are going to waver because of my naked warriors. And I think the whole scare ability has been nerfed, like indirect nerfed a bit too heavy, I would say. Nah, actually I'm not really sure. I haven't played too many games with fear units to tell, but it's definitely been reduced. It's fear effect is definitely not the game changer that it was in the last patch, which is good, I would say. But now people are complaining about Swaby and blah blah blah. And to be fair, I mean Swaby have been nerfed a whole lot, despite on top of the fear effect which has been reduced. So, but I think they're still pretty good as a faction. I don't know, but these noble cav, he's used them a bit too late, I would say, because they were over half strength and they only caused around 85 casualties, which isn't too great. You always want to get at least 100 to 150 kills with noble cav. Anyways, guys, that was a very close battle, and I'm not really sure how I won that. One of these sword followers did incredibly well, 212 kills, and my naked warriors, where are my naked warriors? Where are my naked dudes at? 181 kills, not bad, and these axe warriors got double chevron? Wow, so they must have been killing the cavalry off. So, a couple of takeaways. These axe warriors are definitely good against cav because of their armor piercing. Sword followers are as beastly as they've always been. Veteran spears did okay, but I'm not really sure if I would be content in bringing like 4 of them and putting a spear line. I think they need to be buffed a little bit. This is just my opinion. Maybe just a slight buff to melee defense to make them last longer. Don't increase the melee attack, just increase the melee defense so that they can last a while, or maybe even give them like a 5 armor armor buff. Anyways, guys, that's the end of this battle. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope you enjoy my new mic and my new sound quality. And stay tuned for more. Peace.